do you think this means for the possibility of some stimulus?
I don't think that this changes too much in reality. I like to go to what's statistically probable here. And what's statistically probable is that we're pretty much on the same path this morning that we were on yesterday with respect to, Dr. Gottlieb was on earlier and you asked him to be clinical in his thoughts. So from a market perspective, I'll try to be clinical too. And what Gottlieb said was that there's a 3.4% chance, maybe, of mortality, which means there's a 96+% chance that President Trump is fine. I think we have tremendous checks and balances here. I think that we don't depend on one person, even though it might feel like we do. So I think that what we ultimately see is that the stimulus marches on, is that the Supreme Court nomination marches on, is that the market marches on, that the economy marches on, and that life marches on in general. So I'm not right now being a Chicken Little. I do not think the sky is falling. I'm marching along with my own long-term investment narrative, which is unchanged this morning relative to where it was yesterday.
I'm probably it's going to get old starting every statement with, well, we don't really want to talk about markets and the stock market. But, I mean, as you just said, we're talking about 96%, so we don't want to be too maudlin or pessimistic. But my point on the stock market is this is not even 2% at this point. And markets do react. There are a lot of smart people and, a lot of them that would be moving probably in a much bigger fashion and will, I'm sure, every data point that we hear coming out of the White House could influence how the markets are reacting, obviously. But this, at this point, is not that significant on the big picture, especially for how far the markets have come.
Right. I think it depends on your time frame, right? If you're a short-term trader, you're the one who is going to be moving and thinking about the day-to-day data points. If you're long-term oriented, nothing's changed. And again, going back to statistical probability, I like to watch election betting odds. Election betting odds as of last night were that Biden had a 21% lead. The national polls showed him with an 8 to 9% lead. So to me, the statistically probable outcome is a Biden win, and that's what I'm investing for. And that's not even that long a time frame. But if you think about that, plus the probability of President Trump being just fine, which I think between the therapeutics that we've had, between the information that we've gathered, odds are he's just fine. I don't think this really changes what's going on. But if you're a short-term trader and you love news and you love momentum and you want volatility because that's what you thrive on and you want to throw the emotion in there, then let that happen. But make sure that you know who you are in this equation. Are you a Jenny who looks out to the long run and stays pretty calm and pretty even keel, and this doesn't change anything for any of our portfolio holders? Or are you a trader who's looking for noise to take advantage of, short-term dislocations or short-term movements?
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.